Hi, Gagan.
Hi, Shweta.
Welcome to loudspeaker.com. As we have been discussing, and I told you about this project of mine. So, Loudspeaker is a platform, a channel, and a library of sorts that I want to make for people living outside India and also for people in India to see what people are doing. So we are almost 29 million Indians that are living outside India, and plus more if you consider people of Indian origin, people that have Indian ancestry. So we live in our own little community wherever we go outside India, and we don't get to know about the different things and the different path breaking things, inspirational things, impactful things that we are doing. Maybe we get to know about celebrities or sports people or CEOs, the top CEOs that are from India. But regular people like us, regular people like you are doing an amazing job. You're in the UK and your life has totally pivoted from what you were doing to now what you're doing and helping your community, helping people. So, this platform and this podcast is basically to bring out stories and journeys about people like you and other people that have some kind of an impact on society. And even if it inspires one person, so I will be very, very satisfied and very glad that I'm able to have my own kind of impact on society. So, Gagan, let's go ahead and introduce.
First of all, thank you so much, Shweta, for doing this, for having me on this show. And it means a lot to me, uh, especially because I think we have always been such dear friends. And to help each other in some way, and especially for what you're doing, it means a lot to me. For taking everyone's journey out there and inspiring people is a huge thing. I think we all are doing God's work in some way or the other. And this is your way of doing it. And it's a pleasure being a part of it. So thank you for having me. Hi everyone. I am Gagan Singh. I'm a hypnotherapist, mindset, and manifestation coach. And what without these tags, I would say I'm also a mother to two handsome boys and also a really good wife, according to me, at least. Um, and beyond that, I think I'm a beautiful spirit, like we all are. And I'm grateful that I've become aware of that. And now I'm able to help other people become aware of the potential that they possess, the healing powers that they possess, and literally the power that we all have so we can create the life that we desire and live a life beyond our wildest dreams, whatever that could be for anyone.
Great, Gagan. And I've seen your journey, how you have overcome different obstacles and stand where you are today. And at the same time, I have seen myself from what I was, say, 10 years ago to what I was 5 years ago and to what I am now. So, Gagan, tell us a little bit about from where you come in India and what has been your journey like, and how did you land in UK, and what were you doing before you came into this category, and what made you decide?
So I come from a very loving family in India, and I was born and raised in India, and I came to UK after my marriage. But I think the journey that I had in India has a huge impact of who I am today. So I think it's very important to kind of for me to share that as well, because I know there's so many women out there who will resonate with that, and I want them to learn something from my journey so they do not feel the shit, I would say, that I went through in my mind. So I was born, as I said, in a very loving family, a very influential and affluential family. And I was a third daughter. And I was loved immensely. But, however, there's always a but and there's always a however, I think. I felt that I was not wanted. And the reason I felt that was not because my parents ever said that to me, but because when I was young, I was raised with these surroundings where my siblings and where my cousins would always say, oh, they wanted a son and then you came along. Although my parents never showed that to me, they loved me immensely. But I had this belief that, oh, maybe I was not good enough. And that's why they did not want me in this world. They wanted a son, but I was who came. And then I also kind of learned that, oh, no one wanted you, and my dad took pity on you, like dad took pity on you, and they brought you from a farm. So when we are young, there's no conscious mind. We do not have, we can't, separate the truth from what is real in life, right? We kind of believe what we are hearing from us, from our surroundings, and we accept that to be a truth. And once we accept that in our subconscious, we start living with that. And because I believed that about myself, that I was not good enough and no one wanted me, I kind of started attracting, and now I'm more aware of it, Shweta, but at that time I was not. And I started attracting things like abuse in my life, right? I went through sexual abuse for the first time when I was 2.5 years of age. And because I attracted that, and it never stopped for me kind of in my young age, whether it was through one person or the other person, those situations came in my life, and I kind of made me more believe that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of a good life. So it was not where I was born or anything, but these experiences that I had made me believe that, yes, I'm not good enough. And you know what happens when we believe something? We start looking for that experience in our life, and that becomes a fact for us then. Because my belief was I was not good enough and it was showing up in my life, I started believing that in every cell of my body. So kind of that was my initial journey. And because I didn't see myself worthy of anything, I didn't do well in school because that was my belief. I'm not good enough. I'm just someone like that. When I came to UK as well, I had that big belief that I'm not good enough. And whether I saw myself not good enough as a daughter, whether I saw myself not good enough as a girl, not good enough as a woman who can do something in life, I didn't believe in myself. That was it, right? My worth, I was worthless in my own mind.
Tell our listeners how that manifested in some physical conditions that you had.
If you're not going to cry and if you're not going to let it out, your organs are going to cry in some form or the other. I learned it a very hard way to let go of things. And because I never shared with anyone what I went through with my family, whether it was abuse, whether it was how I was feeling that, oh, I'm not good enough, it kept on kind of collecting in my body. 35 when I did my first job as a teaching assistant, and then I became a HLT and a teacher. But during that time of 9 years, when I was working in a school setting, in a primary school, I was going through major anxiety in life. And that's how it was manifesting out, right? Through major anxiety, through fibromyalgia, through chronic fatigue. And I was just surviving. I was not living my life. I was in the survival mode. And now when I look back, I can understand with the awareness I have that survival mode was coming from a victim consciousness, because I saw myself as a victim in life. I always saw that, oh, it's happening to me. And I'm sure many listeners out there will resonate with this. And I'm sure, Shweta, you will resonate. We kind of start thinking that life is happening to us. Why me? That was my favorite word, I would say. Why me, God? I remember so vividly, Shweta, whether it was in India, whether it was abroad. So look, the places changed, right? But my pattern didn't change.
I totally agree with you because I have also faced similar things while growing up. I was never skinny. I was always considered fat while growing up. So that has always been in my consciousness. And you know how people and society and community, everybody puts so much pressure and everybody is talking about it. But when you're a little kid, you think that there's something wrong with you. And that is
Exactly.
and that is the belief that you carry on always, especially when it is about your physical being, about something that of course you can change. But as a kid, you don't think too much about, like, and then you start people pleasing to make people like you. Then you start, like, doing, saying yes. And I think once you turn 40, what they call midlife crisis, I think midlife crisis is basically something that you start challenging your own conditioning, own
Yeah.
beliefs. And that is what the crisis is. So you
You
are
know,
in a kind of like a crisis because you've gone through so many experiences and now you think this is not who I am, and this is not what life should be or is. So Gagan, thank you for sharing about your past, your childhood, and your journey till that point where something clicked in you and you wanted to change. So tell us about what that point was, and who were the people that were influencing you, or who were the catalyst in you doing what you're doing today and changing your belief, like, 360 degrees, 180 degrees, whatever angle you call it.
Mine is 360 degrees, seriously. First of all, I love what you said about midlife crisis, and how I see is it's not crisis, it is an awakening in its own. But you cannot have that awakening unless you go through that crisis in life, because it's in the lows, right? It's a law of rhythm. When you're in that low, that's when you're in the contrast, not the low, I would say, actually. When you're in the contrast, that's when you become aware of something beautiful that is just right there. And I think that was my part. I lost my mother 10 years ago, and I think that was my turning point completely in life. I started questioning life. And I think in that moment, when you start seeking answers, like Rumi says, whatever you're seeking is seeking you, these answers started coming to me. And these answers started coming to me, like you said, who was the catalyst? That's when I came across Marissa Peer, who became my mentor in life. Literally stumbled upon a video of her on YouTube doing hypnotherapy kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to be the one who's going to free me from my kind of what I have, the baggage I had been carrying. I think my first would be Marissa Peer, who kind of showed me that, oh, I can heal myself. I can heal through all of this and go back into my, in my past lives where I formed these beliefs. So, of course, now I see, okay, I went through the abuse or something, but it's not the abuse, it's the emotions I attached to the abuse.
All these tools, these videos and podcasts, they are available for free to almost everybody. But why is it that just a few people are impacted, or just a few people follow those things? Why is something so impactful on one person and the same thing doesn't affect the other person, even though they are in the same boat?
So this is where I think Bob Proctor's shift gave me that light, I would say, to see what was happening. Exactly what you said. People know it all. We have the knowledge. It's all available. Why do not we change ourselves? Or why doesn't the shift happen? Because people are working with the conscious mind, which is only responsible for 5% of your results. And that's why people set goals. They will go on a diet and they never become successful, because they do not go to the root cause of the problem. And I think that's where Bob really showed it to me, Bob Proctor. And if you are not following him, I highly recommend you guys following him, because that's what changed my life 360 degrees. Why does a person go in depression? Why? Because he made me understand it starts from the doubt and worry. It goes to the fear in the subconscious. And then the depression is like depressed. You've pressed so much within you, which is not aligned with who you were born with. You've kind of taken on all of these labels. You've kind of believed all of this rubbish about yourself, which is not you. And when you start studying yourself, Shweta, that's when the life starts shifting. But for that, you need commitment. For that, you need a decision that I am willing to be a different person than who I am today.
People know that they are not in a good place. People are aware, and maybe they are not aware of the patterns that
Yeah.
kind of the pattern that they are in. But it is so difficult for people to believe that there is this all other world out there, that if they are willing to even try a little bit, their life is going to change, like, exponentially. Because I'm a very logical person. For me to believe in something, I will debate, I will argue, I will, unless and until I'm convinced 100%, I'm not going to do it. So for me to get into this maybe spiritual realm, or this subconscious realm, or something that I cannot put a finger on, or something that is not tangible, it was very difficult. But then I thought, okay, this is the life that I have, and this there are some things that are not working. So why not just try
Right.
without even thinking of the outcome? Okay, if nothing's going to change, nothing's going to change. But let's see if something changes. And that is how I slowly, extremely small steps, by reading a few Instagram posts, Facebook posts, just by reading them every day, watching little videos. And then I thought, okay, let me try this. There's no harm in trying, because I didn't go into, okay, fine, I'm going to change myself, my life, and I'm going to do this from tomorrow. It wasn't like that. It was a slow progression. And with that slow progression, when I saw that there were some things that were just changing just a little bit, They gave me a lot of confidence. And then I slowly started believing that I think 90% of things are all in our mind.
100%. A person needs to have an open mind. A closed mind will never progress in life. And again, learn something from nature. Nature is always growing, it's always evolving, it doesn't stay, because you can't stay still in life. You are not, if you're not progressing, you're moving backwards in life. That's nature, right? So I think what you said was right. When you're studying something, apply it in your life, Shweta. If you're not applying it, if you're not embodying that version, you will never be that person. So first thing I would say to anyone is, ask yourself, what is it that I want? 99% of the people in the world do not know what they want in life. All of my clients are at that stage when they come to me. They do not know what they want. It's the
Yeah,
biggest thing.
so yeah, people don't know what they want. Can you tell us how to know what we want?
But before I tell you how to know what you want in life, it's important to park your belief system on one side. Because if you do not park your belief system on one side, it's not going to let you think. Take a pen. Pen is your first your really good friend in life. Take your pen, get a notebook, and just start writing. What would I like? And start maybe even smaller things. Maybe it could be, I want to have a cleaner in my house, because in UK and America, you can't have a cleaner every day, maybe, right? Some people can have it once a month. Some people don't even have that. So it could be even having that thing, or it could be having fresh flowers in your home every day. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. But start going beyond what you think, first of all. That's the starting point. So when I do this activity with my clients, I tell them, write a list of 50 plus things. What would you like to have in your personal life, and 50 things in your professional life? At least, minimum. And majority of the time, 99% of the time, my clients message me, I can't think beyond 20, or I can't think beyond 25. Why? Because their belief stops them. Their programming, their conditioning stops them to even desire. Why? Because when we are in school or when we are little, we are told, stop daydreaming, you're daydreaming, right? Stop. We are programmed into move into the masculine energy.
But as we grow and as we become adults, we become logical. It's very, very difficult for us to think that whatever life, whatever the kind of life that we are leading right now, in our current position, we can totally change it into a different thing altogether. So, how can one break that barrier of kind of like, believing much, much, much more than what they think is possible?
People say we do not know what they want. Let me tell you, everyone knows they want freedom in life. So
100%.
everyone knows it's the freedom they are looking for. And then ask yourself, what freedom am I looking for? So people will run again. Oh, no, no, no. Money is not everything.
You tell that to a person who's struggling to run a house, or a single mother who has kids. For her, money is everything.
If you don't have financial freedom, can you have time freedom in life? No. People say money is not time. Money doesn't bring you time. 100% it brings you time, because you can delegate. You can hire people to do your stuff, cleaning, chef, whatever you want. So again, everyone's looking for freedom. Because I'm not talking about money today, but I love talking about money. So Shweta, whenever you're doing a podcast just for money, bring, right? Like Mother Teresa, even till she was very in her age, she still did work. And she was the most wealthiest person in the world.
Really? I did not know that.
No one knows that. Why? Shweta, again, look, I caught you there, your belief, because people think it's the money in the bank that makes you rich.
Yes, 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 yes.
She knew the power she had. She could walk into any organization in the world and walk out with the money she desired.
Yes.
So she was the richest woman in the world. She knew her worth. That's what richness is. She knew that if she would call up someone, wherever they are in the world, with the resources, they will give it to her. They will never say no. Formula is simple. TFA equals success. What that means is, and it doesn't mean just success in monetary value, I mean success in every area of your life. And I'm going to now tell you backwards. What does it mean is, your thoughts, your feeling, and your actions need to be aligned. That taste that you want of success is only going to come from these three things: your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And they need to be aligned. So it cannot be one or the other. They all need to be in the right ratio. So your thoughts on conscious level, so I'm going to go deeper here. Your thoughts on the conscious level, your feelings in your subconscious, and actions through your body, they all need to be aligned. All right, Shweta, I'm going to talk a little bit about thinking here, because people don't understand what thinking is actually. So I really want to make sure that people, understand. So thinking actually, guys, is not what you do all day long. That's mental activity. We think we are thinking. That's not thinking. That
Okay.
is actually your mental activity. That's going on. Again, it's the logical, right? It's we are being programmed. That's always there. That's the chatter. That's literally the chatter. I'm going to talk about two things there. So remind me. So one is about really what thinking is. And second thing, Shweta, do remind me if I forget. I want to talk about inner dialogue here. So first, I want to talk about thinking. What is really thinking? So what you guys call thinking, or everyone calls thinking, is actually a mental activity, which is automatically happening. It's the habitual way of thinking, right? You're just doing that habitually. It's happening. And 90% of the times we are thinking thoughts from yesterday, before, or in the past. So 90% of the thoughts that come on everyday basis are nothing to do with where you want to go in life. They're all from your past. Will you agree? You're
Yes,
either there or you think worrying about the future. You're not in the present.
absolutely.
That's where anxiety kicks in, by the way. When you're too much in your future, that's where anxiety is. So someone who has gone through anxiety majorly, been hospitalized on 3 occasions, I'm telling you, let go. You do not need to control your future. Let go. You need to not control, but you need to become in charge of your life today. So that is one thing. What is thinking then? Thinking is something, it's called, we all have been given with this gift, but we are not trained how to use this gift of thinking. Thinking is actually 6 mental faculties, and those are made up of your perspective, your memory, the will, imagination. These are your higher mental faculties in life. These higher mental faculties then are called thinking. So if you're not using perspective to change, you're still doing mental activity. If you are not using imagination to be in a place what you want in life, not where you do not want. So how are you using imagination? We are using these mental faculties. In what way are you using them? And these are the mental faculties that separate us from the animal kingdom. They do not have that, but we are blessed, because why? We have the power to create our own life. So if you look at the shaman religion, they will tell you you're born with 2 books. One is like it's pre-written, right? People who are not aware, it's all written, and you live your life and you just go. But then the other book is blank, and you can use these mental faculties to write that book, how you want your life to be. And that's where the power of manifestation comes. You're manifesting anyway.
So, Gagan, let me ask you. You are a life coach. You have done courses. You have had so many different experiences. You've studied so many people, and you teach people how to change their life. And your clients, I'm sure, after a certain point when they were stuck, they came to you, and now you have a certain roadmap and you have tools and different things to show them. So, my question is for the rest of the people who say do not have access to a life coach, or who cannot afford a mentor or a life coach or programs, or somebody who is like, who has that barrier of not even going to look out for, but wants different things, but doesn't want to go out. You are saying these are all mental activities, mental chatter in a dialogue. But when we are thinking, imagining, fantasizing, we don't give these terms to our thoughts and processes. So, how can somebody on a daily basis, because I think this is a lot of work to kind of like compartmentalize one thing as and inner dialogue, one thing as a chatter, one thing as a mental activity, and then a fourth thing as something that is actually real thinking or trying, whatever you call it. So this is a lot of work. And people like you are there to guide us. But for people who don't have access to people like you, how can they bring about changes in their life?
People are working after strategies, right? They are all
Yes. Yes.
marketing and everything. But I'm telling you, action is the last piece of the puzzle. First is your belief. What do you believe about yourself? Again, your identity. Second thing, is your belief system helping you? Of course not.
Mm.
100% not. First thing I would say is basic, making it very simple for everyone. Look at the results of your life. Look at different areas of your life, your finances, your career, your health, relationships, and ask yourself, where am I not liking the results I'm seeing? First, simple point. Anyone can do that, right? You can sit with a paper and pen, write these sections of your life, finances, your career, your health, your relationships, right? Write it all down. And then ask yourself, what and if where you do not like, for example, you do not like your finances, or you do not like your health, or you do not like your relationships, ask yourself, what do I believe about? What are the beliefs I have about this relationship? What are the beliefs I have about my health, if that's what you do not like? Or what are the beliefs about money that I have, or my job? And let your pen flow. As I said, your pen is your best friend. Let it flow. It will show you that you will have some beliefs which are not empowering, which are holding you back. For example, money is hard to earn. Very common
Such
one.
a strong, yes, it's such a strong belief for most people.
Yes, it is very strong. Second thing, it could be, you know, oh gosh, there's so many beliefs that could, like, again, money is hard. Second, that, money is evil. Rich people are bad people,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Such a big belief people have.
Hmm.
Who said
Hmm.
that? Money will magnify who you are. Money is not going to make you good or bad in life. If you're a good person, you will do good with money. If you're not that great person, you will do bad with money. So it's not about money, but it's about who you are. So again, write the whole list down. What are your beliefs about your health if your health is not great? Do you believe, like you something, right? You said, Shweta, that you believe that you were fat because people said that to you again and again. And then understand, ask us, and then find, I made this reel really, this is exactly what I made the reel about, was then second thing what you do is first write down those beliefs. Second, really look around in the world, where is this belief opposite? So of course, not every rich person is bad. Not every rich person is working 24/7. Actually, these billionaires and millionaires, they do not work all day long. Who is working all day long is the rickshaw person in India, is the
Yep.
builder in India, and they are not earning that money.
Hmm.
Why? Because the belief is it has to be hard. It has to be hard. But a multimillionaire doesn't have that belief.
Mm.
So it all goes down to what are you believing, because you will never go beyond your belief system. So before you go into the action again, which is the logical way of doing, which we are programmed to do, Shweta, do. No, the doing is not going to give you the result. Those rickshaw drivers and everything, they're doing all day long. According to them, they should be the multimillionaires actually, but they're not. Why? Because of the beliefs. So ask yourself, are these beliefs serving me? If they're not, write them down and literally burn them. And I'm not joking. Burn it. Release it from your mind, from your body, from your psyche. Burn it. It's symbolic, but do it. My clients use this activity like anything, because anything they don't like, oh, come on, let me get rid of it. But the beauty is just not to release it, but the beauty is to replace it with something. Because if you're not going to replace it with the positive, unconsciously, you will then replace it with the same similar type of negative pattern. So it's very important to then replace it. Do not leave a vacuum there. So this is something I think everyone can do on their own, even without a life coach. And if you would really ask me, the sincerest advice for anyone out there is to work on your belief system. If you're not going to work on your belief system, it's never going to change for you. unfortunately.
Okay, so Gagan, we are immigrants living outside India, and for a lot of immigrants, it's a cultural shock. I will not call it shock, but it's a lot of cultural difference when you come from India. And people like us, India is changing every year. I mean, so is the world. But living in a foreign country with foreign people, with uh, people, even in your own community, you have to restart, make and build friendships. So I'm sure you must have worked with a lot of Indians as well living in the UK. What difference do you see between your Indian clients, their mindset, and your non-Indian clients? Because I'm not sure if there is a difference, but if there is, can you tell us a little bit about that?
100% there's a big difference, not only just in Indians and people who are abroad, like who live, who are natives of here, but also in women and men. So I work with both. I really have a passion to work with women, but of course I work with both. But then, and that shows you the programming, how they have been raised, how they have been literally programmed. Even in India, if I think about how are women programmed and how are men programmed. So men have this, again, they have better mindset with money sometimes, right? Some of them are not. Like women are like, I'm going to speak for myself, and lots of my clients, they come with, this conditioning of the man of the house earns, and you sit and you look after the house. That's what it was when we were growing up, at least. Now it has changed, right? But that was the programming we were all given, and that's why we never saw ourselves of something that we can do in our lives. Certainly I had that. So that is something I really see. Something second I see, and that is with men and women both in Indian culture, is self-love. There is missing. Self-love is not self-care. Self-love, people think, is about getting the massages done and the nails done and shopping. That is not self-love. That is, okay, taking care of your body and your how you want you. That's good. But self-love is loving yourself unconditionally. And we have, again, been programmed to judge ourselves so much, Shweta. We judge ourselves, and this is what I see in my clients, and I help them come out of it, because when you're in that judgment, you're not only judging yourself, you're judging the world, you're judging other people. You're in the spiral of this judgment. And to really love yourself, and especially I see these with women who come for relationships. Oh, I want a man to love me unconditionally, right? And I'm like, do you love yourself unconditionally? No. So how are you expecting to attract a man in life who loves you unconditionally, because you don't love yourself unconditionally? But what have we been programmed is, again, conditioned, not even programmed, is seeing our mothers, seeing our grandmothers always about others. It's never about them. And we've never seen self-love. And even in Indian men, it's missing a lot. Because they judge, because they find themselves responsible for bringing on the table, that it's all their responsibility, right? It's, again, a lot of this conditioning that I see in, especially in Indian, Asian clients, not even Indian, I would say, Asian culture, a lot of it. But then some similarities that I see, and I work with a lot of Polish women and, European women, is hard work. Money and hard work, something. Oh my gosh, this European culture and Asian culture is so similar in that, I tell you, Shweta. They are programmed on a very deep subconscious level that money is hard, it's evil. Again, a lot of that comes, that rich people are bad. And this is something I find in even Americans I work with. I've worked with a lot of Canadians and Americans. And this is some like a common thread that goes around. With food and money, there is, seriously, it goes into our DNA. I'm not joking. This is something generational. It's a common thread, no matter where you are in the world. It's a common thread, hard work and money,
But if it
especially.
is but if it is a common thread and across the world, don't you think there is some truth in it actually being true?
No, it's not everyone. It's your truth or my truth. That's what truth is. There is no truth. In which culture has it written, which Granth has it written, actually, that money is evil? I want to know. Where is it written? In Gita, it says, from abundance you take abundance, abundance still remains abundance. That's the definition of abundance in Gita. World is an abundant place. The lack is in our mind.
That reminds me that somebody a few years ago, they said, money is out there on the streets, on the trees, like not literally, but metaphorically. Money is out there everywhere. You should know how to get it. You should know how to collect it.
It's not only metaphorically, it is literally. It is literally. Money, if you talk about trees, where it's paper, right? Where is it coming from? So look at the contradictions we have got in our belief systems. Right? So these contradictions, again, stop us from growing and, so it's not about the money. Money is there in abundance. That person said it right. It's your energy container. Can you hold that money? So what happens to the lottery winners? Right? They attract it, but then it all goes. 90% more than that, they always go back to their old positioning where they were, or even get it worse. Why? Because they've not expanded their container. They've not changed their identity about themselves. And that's where the inner work is so important. So you can have the permanent results and better results in life. So always go within, always go and check your belief system. Money is there. So is great health. So is love. So is relationship. Everything is available to you. Look at the Matrix movie. It really shows it really well. It's all of those options. Which one are you stepping into? First book, I think, Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It will teach you how powerful your subconscious is. Because if you do not know anything about subconscious, wake up. Because that is bringing you 95% of your results. So right now you're operating on the 5% consciousness. If you do not have 95%, you're not working on that 95%, you'll never get the results. So wake up. That's the first book I'll recommend. Second thing I would say is Think and Grow Rich. It's here. Look, I have it here as well. Think and Grow Rich, right? Make sure you have this book by Napoleon Hill and literally follow this book. Seriously, I'm not joking. Bob Proctor, this was Bible for Bob Proctor. He read this book. So people read books and they leave it, right? Am I right, Shweta? They read it. The book is not meant to be read, darling. It's meant to be studied. You need to study this book. Think and Grow Rich. I do not know how many copies I have. It's everywhere in my home, literally. Get this book and follow this book. It's going to change your whole life. As it says, you can think and grow rich. You were born rich. If you were born poor, that was not in your hands. If you die poor, that is in your hand. Bob always said this, and something beautiful I want to say. He said, and he's so true, you can take all the money of the world and take it to the poorest country of the world. They will run out of money because they have not worked on their consciousness. So you need to work on your consciousness. You need to expand your consciousness. These are the two books that I would really recommend. And not just read it, as I said, study these books.
So Gagan, when clients come to you, what are the few things that you immediately spot in them?
Few things. It's lack mentality. And lack doesn't only just mean with money, it's in different areas of life. That is one thing I identify. And they can see it as well. Second thing is the confidence in themselves, the self-belief. That is missing. Or if it is there, it is dormant. They're not aware. It's there. It's not missing, actually. It's there, but it's dormant. It's just staying there. They're not aware of it, the level of confidence. I'm going to give one example of this beautiful girl who came to me and said to me, she attended one of my master classes, Shweta, and she said to me, she said, I'm a nobody. That was her identity. And she is working really well for herself. She's very educated in a lawyer. And you won't imagine a lawyer saying, oh, I'm a nobody, right? And when she came to me, didn't have the confidence, her belief about herself was, I'm a nobody, literally. Can you give me some confidence? When she worked with me for 6 months, she went from earning, she actually 5x'd her income in a span of 3 months. Why? Because she changed her how she saw herself, her confidence, her self-belief about herself, what she can achieve. And it's not only one client, I've got many clients, but especially she really resonates with me because she said, because she was something like I used to be. I used to see that I'm a nobody, didn't have that confidence or self-esteem. Today, her goal is 100K a month. One person who said, I'm a nobody. And she sees herself making that impact in the world. And like, it was, again, we think of strategies, and she doesn't have a strategy. She doesn't even have anything. The work just keeps coming and just keeps coming. Why? Because she started seeing herself from a different place. She now believes in herself, the confidence level. So that is few things that I'm going to say. And someone asked me this when I really attained this achievement in my life, that what will be that one word if you could give? And I said, it's not one, I'm going to give 3 words. Self-belief. So belief, trust, and faith are the 3 words. And they are my favorite words, I say. Why? You need to believe in yourself. You need to have a good belief system in place. Second, trust. Trust yourself, your decisions in life. Trust that you will be supported, you will be guided. Because again, I see a lot of women who come to me, they feel unsupported. They feel that they're not supported at home. And I used to feel that as well. So when I see these qualities, we all have them, right? Like we are lacking in them, the self-belief, the trust in the universe. We think we are alone. And then faith. And again, I think, Shweta, we are taught that faith is something outside of us. It's not. It is within us. It's the oneness. People think there's a separation between God and us because that's what we are programmed. And I see that. And that is something I really love teaching people. It's on a very spiritual level. So it's just not mechanically, it's really learning who you are. And I think that's when you know the spirit that you are, that really gets me going, because people start shedding all of these belief systems and all of these falls starts falling off them. And they become aware of this truth in life. Who are they? And I think that's where it really ignites my passion. So these are few things that I identify in people are missing: the level of faith, trust, and belief.
Yes, I think that will resonate with a lot of people. Because that is what we don't have. So thank you so much, Gagan. And people like you who change their life outside India and who are doing these path breaking things and helping their community, not only their community, but the people around them. So kudos to you. I'll give a link of your Instagram profile. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they can send you a DM, and we'll get you back on the podcast with specific topics later on. It was wonderful talking to you, and the power of internet is so amazing that we can connect with anybody across the world.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure is mutual. Thank you so much, Gagan.